Jimmy Dore.
Jimmy. Jimmy Dore.
Jimmy Dore.
I have a lot of issues with Jimmy Dore. Overall, I tend to agree with a lot of his complaints that he sprinkles in every single one of his very similar videos. And I agree with a lot of the tweets that he puts on the screen right next to him from various people that tend to think the same way that he does. But one of my biggest critiques of Jimmy Dore and his content, it tends to be that that's all he does. All he tends to do is complain and bitch about various things that are obvious problems, like no duh. Any progressive, any lefty would be like, yeah, duh. But he doesn't really propose any solutions. There's really not much substance there, you know? And sure, he's right about a lot of things. However, most of his content is centered around critiquing the Democrats and the Democratic Party, and virtually never the Republicans, who are demonstrably worse. And I have a video right here going over more of this in detail. But when it comes to furthering leftist causes, leftist ideals, progressive ideas and policies, he was finally confronted about this in particular, and I'm really glad I'm not the only one that has this critique of Jimmy, that all he does is complain and offer zero solutions. So let's take a listen to what Jimmy said. This was on the Status Quo program with Jordan Sheridan. Good channel. Not many gripes about it from me. Let's listen to what Jimmy has to say.
The criticisms I hear launched at me often in our show, Jimmy Dore Show, is that we don't have any solutions, that we're just critics. And I've have plenty of solutions. The first one, of course, is ranked choice voting. The second one would be direct action. I have a strike page at my website. We've had union leaders, organizers, we've Christian Smalls from Amazon, all kinds of people on our show advocating, people from Portland, international workers unions, all kinds of people. That's another solution, right? So direct action, that's exactly what you're talking about. And that's exactly what we need. And then the third thing would be a third party, which I've stuck my chin out for a long time.
All right, so this clip tells me a couple things. First off, this criticism of Jimmy is pretty valid right off the bat. The first thing he says, we got solutions at the Jimmy Dore Show. Ranked choice voting. Ranked choice voting is a policy position. Virtually every leftist agrees with you in some form or another. It's pretty much, there's a wide consensus on the left that ranked choice voting is a good idea. The issue, Jimmy, is how do you implement it? How do you get it? How do you reach the point where you're able to actually make that a reality? Do you see what I'm saying? Same thing with Medicare for all. Same thing with legalizing marijuana, which just passed the House. Hallelujah. We'll see how that goes. There has to be a method. Like, what exactly, what is the path to ranked choice voting? That's the point. And secondly, he brings up direct action. And this is a go-to empty response whenever you're asking someone who's left-wing or someone who tends to be left-wing. And these are more of the revolutionary types, not the reformist types. It's a knee-jerk reaction. Oh, direct action. We need marches in the streets. We need strikes. And yes, I fully support a general strike. That is 100% needed right now. And he goes on about, like, yeah, speaking with union leaders and all that. That's great. I'm happy that he does that. He brings leaders on his program and all that. That's all fine. That's all good. But direct action alone, and I can't stress this enough, direct action alone is not enough. Unions in general have been declining in the U.S. for a long time. A general strike would require pretty much the entire workforce of America to just stop working and go on strike. We need that kind of mobilization to make a difference. When I say direct action alone isn't enough, that's where electoralism comes into play. That's where electoral politics comes into play. And I know this turns off a lot of leftists, but Vladimir Lenin wrote about cooperating with bourgeoisie parties in order to further leftist goals. Because even leftists understand, Jimmy, even old school Marxists understood that even neoliberalism is preferable to fascism. That's why if there's an opportunity to use electoral politics to make sure that the fascists don't become the ruling party, it's imperative that whoever you are, even if you're a lefty, you don't believe in voting or anything like that, it is imperative that you participate in voting to ensure that fascists don't gain control, because it is much easier to fight a neoliberal establishment than a fascist establishment. So direct action alone is no good. And then his last point, the old good reliable third party. By golly, yes. Yes, that's exactly what we need. But tell me, Jimmy.
Bond with me, Jimmy.
How did third parties do this election compared to 2016? Also, when was the last time there was a viable third party in America? Also, when Ross Perot ran in 1992 and got 19% of the vote, how many electoral votes did he get? When was the last time a third party got 5% or more of the votes? Where the hell have the Green Party been the last 4 years? Why is it that third parties like the Libertarian Party and the Green Party tend to just sit on their hands in between election cycles? They do nothing to grow, and they don't really have their shit together or even a plan for obtaining power. Why is that? I'm thinking back at a video that a stream that the Amazing Atheist did, TJ Kirk, called Now What? It was not long after Bernie dropped out, and he did a poll that was very interesting to me. I know what some of you are thinking. TJ Kirk, the Amazing Atheist, you guy's such a pig, he said this thing and he said that. I don't care. I like TJ. I will simp for him. He has far, far more good takes and does far more good than bad. But that's just my opinion. I'm just some fuck on the internet, alright? And TJ did a poll on Twitter. He said, poll for left-leaning liberals and leftists. What's the most viable strategy moving forward? Take over the Dem Party, third party, or revolution. And take over Dem Party got the most votes. And you know why? Because it's the best option. It's a great stream. He goes over a lot of the nuances. But that's the thing. Even though taking over the Democratic Party got plurality of the vote on the poll, not everyone agrees with it. That's why third party and revolution got the other bulk of the vote. But it makes the most sense because it's the most feasible. It's the most workable. It's working. The Justice Democrats are a thing. They're winning their elections. Third parties are systematically rigged against. And revolution, what do you think is going to be the end result of a revolution? A socialist uprising? No, it's going to turn fascist really quick because there are more fascists in that hold power right now than socialists. There's no socialists in power. I mean, for me, that's really kind of what it comes down to. Are you doing more harm for leftism, progressivism, the left than bad? Are you doing more good than bad? How effective is your strategy if you have one? Because the thing is, with Jimmy Dore, he attracts a lot of conservatives. Many conservatives aren't exactly politically literate. They just like to hear Democrats being stomped on and mocked. And during the general election, if you're going to equate Joe Biden and Donald Trump, you're not doing those conservatives any favors. They're going to vote for Trump anyway. If there's no difference between them, might as well go with the devil I know. Might as well go with this colossal embarrassment and this complete and utter failure. Yeah, after the last 4 years, after the last 9 months, 74 million people are going to look at that guy and say, 4 more years. Are you kidding me? And you're complicit in that, Jimmy Dore. I get it. You're just some jagoff comedian in the garage. But if you're not holding the obviously worst party to account the same way that you do for the Democrats, then how are you building the left? How are you encouraging people to engage in progressivism and believe in progressive policies? Especially if you'd be telling your fan base to just not vote at all, not vote for Joe Biden, even if it means getting Trump out, who has completely botched COVID-19 and is allowing millions of people to suffer right now because of his complete ineptitude. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, am I wrong? Is there something that I'm missing? Let me know down in the comments below. Let me know how wrong I am and how much you hate me. Also, Nico House, if you're watching this, I'm still waiting to hear how Joe Biden is a fascist. Also, don't get me wrong. I like Jimmy Dore. I watch his videos every now and then. I happen to really enjoy the phone calls that he takes from the actors that pretend to be different figures and all that. But even though Jimmy's not really even the funny thing about them. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Click the bell for notifications so you do not miss a video. And also follow me on Twitter at Stateless Patriot.